Hello and welcome back to On the Workbench. Today we're taking a look at this two-piece Kiwi Pliers set from Easy Red. This company's been around since about 1966. This is a 2-pack KWP2 and comes with a foam tray. First bit of note here, these are made in China, just to make sure we get that out of the way up front. I bought these with my own money. This is not sponsored by Easy Red. One of the reasons why I bought these is I had seen Eric O of South Main Auto use pliers like this on multiple occasions, and so I wanted to pick up a pair for myself because I thought that would be useful for dealing with fuses or other tight situations inside of electrical boxes. So, look at the back of this. It actually has a two-part foam case, a little bit more dense red on the bottom, and the black pre-cut foam here on top. So if that's your thing, you get that right out of the package. The label here notes that it's 6 inches. There's 2 pairs, needle nose pliers at an angle, curved handles, internal spring. This says nothing about a lifetime warranty, just for the record to get that out of the way. And as we open the package here, we indeed have 2 pairs. And you'd obviously expect to have 2 pairs if you bought a 2-pair plier set. And so as these come out of the package, we can indeed see the spring action on these pliers. And so the longer ones here, squeeze open. Let's take a look at the end. Now you can see there's a slight offset there. These are machined together in where there is no bolt connection here. Nice smooth connection. I actually really like that. I don't like the ones that have bolts on the side. And then here's our smaller pair. This is actually the pair I really want, it more so than the long pair. But you can't buy just one of these. You have to buy them as a set. Otherwise, I probably would have just bought this single pair here. Take a look at that enclosure there on this smaller pair. It's actually pretty good, although there is just a little bit of mashing on the end of the nose from the way that these teeth are ground. Not much of an oil coating to them to prevent rust. We can always spray them down to do that. Grip doesn't feel too bad on the hands. And so these can kind of catch together on the knurling. Some folks may prefer the knurling, some people might prefer them smooth, kind of up to you and your preferences. Otherwise, the other bits of this that aren't finely ground, it's got a nice smooth finish to it. Can't complain about that. I wish the grips were a little more of a hardened rubber. That one of my favorite pairs of pliers are these Craftsman adjustable needle nose pliers. And one of the reasons I've always liked these for fuses is because you can preset that gap at the end just to make sure you're not going to accidentally smash a fuse when that's as tight as those actually go. Let's get out the old tape measure here. Got one here out today that actually has metric on it as well. And so these pliers, the short ones here from front to back, the actual jaws measure, I guess technically about 1.5 inches. And in metric we're looking at about 3.5 centimeters. Overall height on these pliers here, we're looking at about 4.5, 4 3/4 from top to bottom. On the large pliers here, the beak, if you will, checks in all the way back to the pivot point at about 3.25 inches. And that's about maybe a touch over 8 centimeters. If we look at the overall height of these pliers, about 7.5 inches. And then the overall width of these is about 6.5 inches. So one of the issues with the pre-wound spring in here is that it may cause you to take up a little bit more space in your toolbox when you go to store these. Obviously, having the pre-cut foam tray can help with that if you're into that sort of thing and have the space for that. I'm probably going to discard mine because I don't really have space for the pre-cut tray. Now it's notable just in looking at this here, the spring is not visible on either of these. And so presumably that spring is somewhere in this pivot point here. You know, for $17 that I paid for these, I think it was actually just a touch less than that. I can't really complain much about it. You know, so overall I hope these actually work out well when it comes to fuses. So let's get a fuse and take a look at and see how well it works with just a basic fuse. Alright, so I've got a 20 amp fuse here, and just for a quick reference, here's one of the little cheap fuse pullers that sometimes comes with fuse sets. And so this just clips around and allows you to grab the fuse, kind of like needle nose pliers, squeeze on the little grip here, and you can pull on that. If we take the small jaws here, we've got a nice bite on the fuse, obviously, and so this allows you to get down and grab the fuse and extricate it from a fuse box at an angle where your pliers aren't necessarily blocking your vision. Whereas if you've got my favorite pair of pliers here, and you're trying to extricate this fuse from the fuse box, you kind of have to come from straight overhead, which works generally, but if you've got a fuse box that's kind of on the end of the console, you have to open up, say, the driver's side door, you might not always have enough space to be able to pull out the fuse. Whereas I'm hoping with Easy Red, when I encounter a fuse like that, I got a little bit of extra room to be able to extricate that. Or if I'm trying to do some sort of twisting action inside of an electrical box, got some electrical work on my house coming up that I need to do, I can then noodle around inside one of the boxes if I need to be able to get just past one of the cutouts to be able to pull a little more wire, or to be able to work with a twisted set of wires in the back of the box. So you could pull that right out that have been folded down and placed. So if you're interested in looking and taking a look at these, you can find these on Amazon. I'll put a link below. That is an affiliate link, just full disclosure. I do get a little kickback for that. It helps to support this channel so I can keep bringing you great videos like this. And I hope you found this video useful and interesting. And have a great day. Bye.